Hey guys, Kakarot197 again. This time with a review of the high-grade Dilanza Sol provided to me by Hobbling Japan. Links to buy your own down below. And if you've seen any one of the previous Dilanzas, you know exactly what to expect with this one. The colors are just more Titan-esque and it suffers ever so slightly from remold syndrome. Because when we have a look at the sticker sheet, you'll see that we're not just getting stickers for the eyes and the sensor of the gun, but also for the cluster missiles on the back. Oh, and about those stickers for the eyes, unfortunately they do that thing where a part of it that shouldn't be shiny is shiny on the sticker, but at the very least you can cut that away because underneath we do just have standard purple plastic. What you still have to paint then is black for the details, the vents, and the thrusters that are all over this thing. And of course, being a remold of the Dilanza, we unfortunately still get the same nasty seam line running all along the legs, and also some not too subtle hollow parts. So straight out of the box, the Dilanza looks fair enough, especially thanks to its badass color scheme, but unfortunately it can do with a bit of extra love. On to the accessories then, which are also almost identical. For close range, we still get the beam torch, but this time with a purple beam saber blade effect part, because this one is operating at full power. It also fits nicely into the hands and can also be stored into the thick shoulder shields. And for ranged combat, we've got the chest-mounted Vulcan guns, the HC missile launcher on the backpack, which I'm assuming stands for Homing Cluster Missile Launcher, because each cluster missile fires 16 smaller homing missiles. And then we've got the beam rifle. Like this, it is identical to the one with the previous Dilanzas, but we are getting a barrel extension, which can also generate a beam bayonet. I was hoping that you could put a beam bayonet on both sides, like for example if you would buy 2 Dilanza Sols, but you can only put it on the one side. What you can do though is of course store it into the shields, and it also comes with a removable magazine that can also be stored there. But unfortunately, just like the previous ones, it only comes with one magazine despite having room for 3. One on the rifle and one spare on each shield. And that already wraps up the accessories, so let's have a look at the articulation of this thing. Again, no surprises here. The head is on a double ball joint for a little bit of upwards and downwards movement, rotation, and some very slight forwards and backwards movement. For the shoulders, we also get a double ball joint for some nice forwards, backwards, and upwards and downwards movement. The entire shoulder armor assembly can move up very nicely, allowing the arm to go upwards all the way. Then they'll also rotate around, bend at the elbow on 2 joints, which is still kind of surprising to me considering just how chonky these Dilanzas are. And then the hands are on ball joints, will wiggle around, turn around, and do everything a ball joint does. And of course the shoulders, even though they do look a little bit different from the ones we get on the other ones, the inside is actually still the same. So they still have the same rotation there, and upwards and downwards movement. Then for the chest, we get some nice forwards and backwards movement, and then some sideways movement taken care of by the hip joint, which also allows it to rotate around all the way. Then getting to the legs, the front skirts are molded together. They can be separated, but I decided not to, allowing the legs to go forward about that far. But what you're really going to want to do is make use of the outwards movement to simply bypass the entire thing completely. Then on the back, we again get some nice movement. We have a giant back skirt, which by itself can go up and down, and then these thrusters can also flap in and out, allowing them to move out of the way of the legs. And again, thanks to the sideways movement, they will go backwards very far. They'll rotate around, bend at the knees on 2 joints, and the stubby feet do have some nice forwards and backwards movement. They'll rotate around, and they've also got some still pretty nice sideways movement considering, well, the design of the thing. And just because they could, they also included a toe joint. So for being such a bulky machine, it still surprises me how much articulation they were able to put into this thing. So as always, the inevitable question is, do you want to buy this? And, well, the Dilanza Sol is a perfectly average model kit in the best sense of the word. There's nothing wrong with it, so if you like what you see, I can totally recommend getting this thing, but at the same time, nothing really sticks out as amazing either, and they didn't go beyond what they absolutely had to. For example, not including extra magazines or cheaping out on the new backpack. And the value on offer here isn't exactly the greatest either when compared to the other 2 Dilanza sets. Subjectively, I do think this thing looks the coolest, but objectively, it offers the least bang for your buck. So yeah, other than being able to say that, hey, it's like the Jim Quell of Witch from Mercury, nothing really wowed me about this kit. And even the best thing I have to say about it, the articulation, is something that it got from the other 2 Dilanzas. Then for some more size comparisons, here it is next to its brother-in-arms, the Zaward Heavy and the Aerial Rib build. 2 kits that do show you that even though the Dilanza is big, it's not necessarily as tall as you might have thought it was. And then finally, here it is next to the standard-sized Gym Custom and the always bulky Zaku 3. I rest my case. And that has been all for this review of this Dilanza Quell. Again, if you want your own, links down below. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great day, and I'll see you all next time.